What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We're here about to talk UFC 296 recap. Edwards Covington, Pantoja versus Royval, double header of championships on the line. As always, go down, like, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts on the fights, everything, because this is probably one of the most lit cards of the thing. So let us hear what your favorite fight of the night was as well down there. I'm Paul Pick'em Win'em, and I'm joined with.
You already know it's your boy Kevin Waterboy, boy, aka the People's Champ. Hey man, Paul, this shit was lit. I'm not gonna lie to you. All I heard all night was, and still UFC champion of the world. But yeah, it was a great fucking night of fights. Oh man. But before we can even talk any of the fights, please tell me you saw this wild ass press conference. It was everything we expected it to be.
Taking someone to the seventh layer of hell.
Nah, that shit is crazy. Me personally, I would have shot Colby ass for saying that. I would have won and still shot that nigga for saying that. That shit is crazy. Like, you know how like Masvidal caught that nigga in the streets later? I would have shot that nigga like in the cage, kid. Niggas would have been like, say it. I'm like, nah, go fucking say that shit. Now I beat your ass. Now go say that shit to my fucking dad, pussy. But
No,
that's a whole different story. This is a
it was
family friendly
wild.
day.
Wow, I think that changed a lot of people. A lot of people went from not really fucking with Colby to like fuck Colby.
I don't think that's what changed it. I don't think that's. I think a lot of people. I think that's what people made. Stop making excuses for him just because like they just don't like Leon. They're like, I'm not. I don't rock with that. That was pretty fucked up. But it wasn't until he lost. I think that's when people hopped off the Kobe train because like he got treated. They cheered him for that. Like Sean Strickland even checked their ass for saying that. He was like, Leon's mom raised a good man. Leon's mom raised a good man, and he this man
Champion.
grew up to be champion. And Kobe over here bringing up his dad, and y'all cheered him. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. That's disgusting. But like, if you don't know what we're talking about, Kobe and Leon were going back and forth, and Kobe said, "I'm gonna take you to the seventh layer of hell, and then we can go see your dad." And if you don't know, Leon's dad died through gang violence. And I want to say when they lived in London, in Jamaica, and they moved to London because of that. So like that shit was pretty fucked up. And at the weigh-ins, Kobe Leon was like, "You said something about my dad." I forgot what he said, and then this motherfucker Kobe was like, "I was in character," and I was like, "Oh, what a pussy."
It's just a character. I saw that those little extra mic works right there. Be killing it for his character, bro.
I mean, it worked. I mean, he came out that bitch in a George Washington fit, so
I was
obviously,
with him, bro. George Washington fit. I was saluting. I was like, "There's one of my founding fathers right there."
I mean, like he came in there to entertain. I mean, Kamara put it best. You got to be thankful for somebody like that because those are the people. A nemesis like that are the people that drive up the pay per view sales and stuff like that. I just think that like, just I think the shit talking MMA as a whole, at least for the UFC, is kind of like kind of going like to all the way to 10 recently a lot. But it is what it is. Like people look up to people like Connor, like people say whatever to sell the fight. They said when Kobe said that the fight numbers, the pay per view buys, not like just on ESPN, but the international, the pay per view buys went up 25%.
That's
Like
marketing.
you feel me? Like I think it like Dana said it best. I think the family stuff is a little too far, but like that's what the people want to see, and like I would prefer them not do it. I would prefer they just kind of just keep it without crossing the line and stuff like that. But it is what it is.
And then how about the other? Oh, another big thing, Ian Gary. I mean, you got to pull out the fight because he was sick and all that. But all that tough talk, and then all of a sudden he got pulled from the presser.
Bro, they were on his ass the entire press. Nobody. The first thing Kobe said was something about Leon, and then the second thing he said was, "And how many people in here fucked Ian Gary's wife?" And like, his Ian Gary got brought up a few times in his press conference, and I was just like, if Ian Gary was there, it would have been all literally mayhem. Because the only people that were like vibing were Brandon Royval and Alexander Pantoja were chilling. But somehow Tony Ferguson came in this bitch all the way lit. and he was trying to incite a reaction out of Patty, and finally got it towards the end. And somehow Tony Ferguson and Kobe like hated each other, and they came in. Kobe was Tony said he's more American than Kobe. And then Kobe was like, fuck you, Tony. Don't try not to lose your 7th fight in a row. I was rooting for you, but man, fuck you. And then he was like, oh, and then next thing you know, they banded together and they said, yeah, man, let's do this for America. Both lost. And it was just a crazy. Ian Gary would have took that bitch over the top. Like, it wouldn't have been insane.
Yeah, and I enjoy when they do the real pressers like that. I don't like the one-on-one stuff. Line them up and let them talk.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. It's whatever works. I prefer. I do like to just genuinely hear how you plan on winning the fight. Like, what was your mindset going into camp and everything like that. So I do like the one-on-one conversations. But if I am trying to get hyped for the fight and send me something to get ready, you want that big press conference with everybody in that bitch, because like you'll never know what can happen. Because like the Sean Strickland and Izzy beef, both of them boys were fighting two completely different individuals, and that shit ended up aging so well.
And the presser was lit, but the presser was, I think, the perfect, like, like the storm was brewing in the presser. Like the pay-per-view up 25%. I didn't even know that, but that makes sense. Like, they were brewing up the perfect storm.
Hell yeah. Bro, they made a lot of money this card. The gate was like 9 million or something like that.
Wow. Not shocked. Colby Covington's a needle mover now.
Stop it. No, this was because of it's the last card of the year. Donald Trump is gonna be there. They promoted really well. They have 2 champions. Just chill, just chill. But another thing was that they had another presser, and that was the seasonal presser, and that had fucking Sean Strickland, Volk, Sean O'Malley, and then what? Drickus, Ilya Taporia, and Cheeto. And the funniest thing was these niggas were all wild. There was no fucks given. Like, it got to a point where Ilya Taporia was said something, and the translator was translating it back, and then they checked the translator because it was like, "Hey, translate that shit right." Well, he goes, "All right." He said that he's gonna kick your asses. Like it was like something so disrespectful, and the translator tried to be all nice with it. He was like, "Hey, translate it correctly." So that press conference was crazy. Drickus said something about struck a nerve and said something about Sean's dad. Fucking Sean O'Malley, motherfucking, was talking about Sean's dad. Motherfucking Cheeto called fucking Sean O'Malley the next Adam 22, and Volk is just chilling. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say Volk always chilling. I know Volk was laughing.
Yeah, Volk was laughing. Volk was just like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna teach dude to laugh." Volk was worried about his fucking opponent. Like Sean and Sean and Sean Strickland and Sean O'Malley going back and forth, and Volk is just in the middle, just smiling. Right.
Oh yeah, Volk. But I know Volk had a fucking great time. Probably the best time with everyone.
Yeah, and it's crazy because after this press conference, it gets to the fight, and then Drickus and Sean Strickland get to throwing blows, and you're just like, "Oh yeah, them boys didn't want."
One of the best moments in UFC where you see Sean Strickland turn to Gilbert Burns' wife and kids and tell him, "Can you move over to?" And it jumps over the fucking seats to start fighting Drickus in the stands. I was like, "Oh my god!" A 10-9 round Strickland. I don't care, bro.
Right, there's so many funny ass shits when it comes to this fight. One, that for sure. Second is the fact that, do you know who does the seating assignments for
Dana White? Right?
Yep.
Dana White's in charge of who sits next to who.
Every week this nigga does the seating assignments, I guess. So like that was on him, and he was just looking at it like, how the fuck did I let that fucking happen? And then I don't know if it was foul play on purpose or not, but it was perfect. And fucking and it was crazy that it happened right after Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland had showed they were doing the UFC, like showing the fighters and stuff like that. You see Sean Strickland, and then you see Drickus talking shit, And then Sean was like, shut your ass up, shot his ass. And then Drake is like an ugly ass motherfucker, tried to make it seem like he believed it. Like, and I was like, once I seen that, I was like, that's why you was a cornball. Like, you was a corny ass nigga for that cringy ass shit right there. And then it turns into motherfucking Sean saying, like, yo, bro, I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't shut the fuck up. Niggas ain't shut the fuck up. And then the best part about the fight wasn't just the fact that Sean got on there, sorry, laying it on his ass, but it was all the fighters around. Like, you see Cheeto just, woo! And then you see, like, Brandon, niggas forget that, like, niggas talk about Gilbert Burns' kids and stuff like that. Brandon Moreno was right there, and then Brandon Moreno had to, like, get the fuck up out of there because he was like, yo, bro, this is bullshit. Like, niggas, because he was low-key in the mix of all that. There was just so much going on. It was great.
Yeah, no. And that encompasses the whole night right there. That
I was about to say, and this isn't even the card. Like, this was a very great way to end the year for UFC.
definitely like first time. I remember I was at work for the prelims and like Jawan is texting me. He's like, "These fights are going crazy, Paul." And I was like, "Damn!" Like, even when Jawan starts texting me about the fights are going crazy, is when I
Yeah, they're
know
going crazy.
they going crazy. But let's get into the fights. I actually want to start off with the fight of the night, the fight that saved women's bantamweight, Irene Aldana Guerrero Rosa. That's what people are calling it. Right, the 650 strikes, 658 total strikes combined between the two. They they were when they had all these heavy hitters, and we're talking about this was the fight of the night. There's a good ass reason these two left it all in the cage, and Aldana won, rightfully so, but both stocks went up. Like the division stock went up. Like this fight right here had it all.
I think it was maybe because I've only seen Aldana fight in that Nunez fight that she fought last time. So I was doing something at the same time as I was watching this fight. So every time I would look up, I'd be like, yo, maybe y'all fucking each other up. Like every second I got. And then when you see their faces afterwards, you're just like, yo, this shit was crazy. But just to see Aldana let go in this fight after watching her fight Nunez and like land like four hits around type shit. Like I didn't know she had this in her. That was like some Mexican brawling right there. That shit was beautiful.
Oh yeah, Mexican. She has it in her blood. Where it's just Nunes was someone as a scary foe. With her gone from the panel weights, where we really might see some fun ass fights now.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a few hitters there, so I want to see more. And I mean, we could talk about this fight, but if there's a fight I want to bring up on a prelim, it's Cody Garbrandt. That knockout he got was solid.
No
And it looks
love.
like he's looking like he's starting to pick up some wins in a row now. So like, I don't know. Cody Garbrandt might be able to start making something shake.
I know. I mean, his only losses are to Rob Font and Kai Kara France in the new division. So it's not like he's losing to bottom tier talent. He's kind of cleaning up the people that shouldn't like he's knocking out the people he should knock out. But I
Mm.
love Cody No Love. He was one of the first fighters. Just like the way he looked in the games, I was like, yo, this guy looks kind of badass. It's off rip. And then watching the UFC tough seasons and him on
Mm.
there, fucking, he doesn't fuck around. Like he's somebody I would be rooting for.
Yeah, and you see, he always seemed like a cool dude because, like, even on the tough fights, he'd always try. He's the one coach that always wanted to hang out with his fighters. He was just be like, chilling with the boys, chilling with the boys. And when I watched all the other tough seasons, I'd be like, huh, it's not normal for the coach to be around as much as Cody Garbrandt was.
Yeah, especially just chilling.
Hell yeah. So that lockout you got was cold. First round, right on the temple, put bro flat the fuck out. So shout out Cody Garbrandt. I hope he can continue getting wins. And I also want to shout out that boy Andre Fila.
Oh, same. I was gonna shout him out too.
What you was going to say?
I mean, good knockout for him, but it was the post fight presser that I think stole the show.
Oh, when they talked about his dog?
I don't know, it was a dog. I just saw his response, and they're like, Andre Philly just like me, and it was just a 2 second clip, and it was him saying, "I like big booty Latinas," and it's just that one little clip, and I haven't seen the whole. I don't know what the question was. I don't know for what any context. That was just the whole thing. I just thought that shit was funny as fuck when he did that.
No, that's funny as fuck. I didn't know that was Andre Fila. I remember seeing that clip too. But I was watching the Ariel Helwani show because I wanted to see who he had on there. And then see that Michael Venom Page interview. So I stopped and watched. I stayed and watched the Andre Fila interview. And I'll probably say his name wrong, but he was talking about how his dog died. Like literally, like they had to put his dog down because she had like a tumor.
Damn.
She had like a tumor, and it was like it would cost 10,000. They could do emergency surgery. It cost 10,000, and it might not work. And then if it did work, the dog would have to go through chemo. Would just have to go through chemo afterwards, and it was just crazy. So he had that on the back of his mind, and I was just sitting there thinking like even though your dog dying might not be the end of the world and might not definitely probably people would look at you crazy if you pulled out a fight for that. But I'm like, yo, fight to be having like real lives in the background, like on top of everything they gotta fucking do. Like it's very, very tough to be an MMA fighter. And Andre feel like so shout out him for being able to balance real life and the fucking sport and anybody else that does that shit well, because that shit is not easy.
Yeah, no. When I watch Pat McAfee's show and they be talking about like behind the scene locker room stuff, I'd be like, damn, I never take that shit into account. I'd be like, you don't even know. Like Saturday, that's what you said. Like Saturday, homeboy's dog could have died. He dealt with that all night, got no sleep, and then come Sunday 1 o'clock, you expect him to play his best football game ever.
Literally, I remember listening to Kobe, and Kobe would be like, "I had to learn how to be a leader because, like, I can separate from life. I had to learn over time to separate life from basketball, but a lot of people might not. Like, I need you to go in here and drop to get me 10 rebounds and fucking facilitate down low. But you might have been arguing with your wife all motherfucking night. So that's something that like a lot of people don't think about. I'm people for sure, but like, there's real life that goes behind this shit.
But yeah, no, shout out to our prelim fighters we picked. But let's get into the main card, Kevin. It started off with the banger of bangs. We were both on the dog. Josh Emmett as a dog, and this is the first leg of the plus 850 parlay I gave Kyle. A just a free just off face. And Josh Emmett gets the KO. First head strike landed for him. Like two total strikes, he had one to the body, and then with the first one, this is the definition of a one hitter quitter, and arguably that's the most vicious KO. My pick for KO of the year as of now, and just most vicious KO I've ever seen live.
No, that shit was crazy. I mean, it was just so like perfect. Like it
On
was gen.
he's stepping in, trying to do something as you're coming in with in your hand, Josh Emmett's hands.
Yeah, hands of stone. Like, ugh. I know, bro. Woke up with a headache the next morning. Like the shit was crazy.
Like I don't like. It got to the point where I couldn't like the Caesars. When I saw him start seizing in the octagon, that's when I was like, damn. Like you have to turn away type shit. Like he didn't want to see all of that. I was like, fuck. Like oh.
And then it was for me. It was the standing up, like because like Josh Emmett's had a tougher the last few fights have been tough. He lost to Yair in Perth. He got kind of killed in by Ilya Taporia for 5 rounds. And so coming in, and then now he had to fight Bryce Mitchell, came on last second. And a lot of people were thinking Bryce Mitchell was the better fighter. And Josh Emmett should low-key start thinking about his way out type shit. Because, like, he's getting older. His run out of championship is going. So to see him, like, knock bro out and then get over him and then start talking his shit, whatever the fuck he said. Like, yeah, man, told them motherfuckers not. He probably put a Geno Smith. He told them motherfuckers calling, I ain't pick up. Fuck that. And like really type shit. It was pretty surreal to see.
And then he did. He said that was all like the heat of the moment battle, but he does wish like Bryce is a great guy. He has a family. He does this and all that. Like so, he did hope. He gave him well words afterwards.
Yeah, I respect it. I wonder how much weight that Bryce Mitchell has to get. That's my always question. Motherfuckers take fights on short notices. I wonder like how much weight the motherfuckers have to cut. Because niggas be talking about some, yeah, man, I have to cut like 30 pounds in like 3 days because of this shit type shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. Bryce isn't typically the biggest. He's not like Patty. Patty's never gonna take no short notice fight.
Facts.
But that's the next fight we're talking. Patty getting the win over Tony Ferguson. unanimous decision, rightfully so. But I mean, it sucks to say Tony Ferguson now ties BJ Penn for the longest fight losing streak, and Patty just got to now he has a great name on his resume, even though he still kind of is fraudulent.
I mean, when it comes to this fight, I think it's interesting because you've seen that Tony. Everybody was hyped about Tony because of the David Goggins workouts. He kind of locked in and he showed that he was coming with a different mentality. And it's great to see. And I definitely feel like if he didn't win the fight, he definitely won a lot of moral victories and definitely grew as a person. And hopefully he can take that into what other lights of life that he lives in, like as a father, as an athlete, as a son, or whatever it is. But I personally not going to tell Tony to retire. You can do whatever you want. You can fight as long as you want. If that's all you know, then never stop. But I would prefer Tony to like kind of hang it up. Like me personally, you've done what you needed to do. You've shown that you was a great fighter. You had a 12-fight win streak. But this fight, Patty kind of just mauled the whole fight. I wouldn't say he killed him, but he definitely just showed that he was the better fighter. And there were points in time where Tony showed promise, but Patty turned it right back on. And at the end, I'm shocked Patty didn't finish it.
Yeah, I'm shocked too. But it's also on Dana White, bro. Just don't give that man a contract. Like, sorry, Tony. Like, I can't do it no more.
It's tough because he still sells.
He does still sell, but how many more losses is he gonna still be able to sell? Like, I know it's still name value, but like when you already know the outcome before the fight happens.
No, that's true. But we'll see how it goes type shit. I think he ends up fighting another one and then maybe after that one he'll retire. But I don't know.
Hopefully, they give him a trash can so he can go out on top.
Please.
Our final three fights, though. Last one before the title fights, Kev. Shavkat Rakhmonov getting the submission over Wonder Boy. And a lot of people get mad at his performance because it was boring. He had him against the cage. He takes him down finally in the second round for the sub. But it comes out, he tore his ankle.
Yeah, let's say that fucking shit was huge.
Injury a lot of people would have pulled out from, especially on your rise as a prospect. He said, "No, I can't do that." Pulled up anyway on one ankle. That's why it was the way it was, and it gives Wonder Boy his first ever submission loss. Like, that's insane talent.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's also toughness. I feel like he's just a killer for real. And it's built in his DNA. Like, yo, bro, we're just gonna fight through this no matter what. And he might need surgery. I'm not sure if they said it will need surgery or not, but that was definitely respect. I think you got to respect 18 wins and 18 finishes. Like everybody's gotten taken out and everybody's gotten sent home. Everybody got sent home. They never had to take it to the judges. I think Shavkat is literally just the.
All right.
He has to be the second or third best in this division.
Yeah, welterweight has some hitters now, but like he is like on the rise. You got Wonder Boy submitted him. Geoff Neal submitted him. Neil Magny was beating the brakes off him and then submitted him. Charleston Harris knocked him out. Michael Pizarro's submitted him. Like, you got ranked guys. People were outside the top 15 that will beat you if you're not that good. Like, they're very solid fighters. And he's just mowed through them all. I really do think he's the best welterweight on the rise right now. And it's great to see him and Leon on the same card because they're kind of getting that familiarity, I feel like. Like, Leon sees him a couple fights away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That might be the next fight. You can see Bilal all in the mix of that. But Shavkat just showed if he continues to improve, he can just show that he's going to be one of the best fighters in this division for a while.
Yeah, putting on for Kazakhstan. Next fight, title fight, Kev. Pantoja, unanimous decision over Royval. We were both on Pantoja. He takes care of business 50-45, 50-45, 49-46. unanimous decision. I said they're kind of equal on the mat. On the hands, though, Pantoja's the better striker. You agreed. You said the same thing. Like, and that I think that's exactly what we saw. But we saw Pantoja kind of do it on the mat a lot.
I mean, I think Pantoja just showed that he was just really good fighter. He just is an all around. I expected to see more wrestling because that's what I saw in the Brandon Moreno fight. But he showed that he was better than Royval in a lot of different categories. And I thought that was smooth because Royval's no slouch. And he's had such a huge size difference on. I want to say it was 5'9" to Pantoja 5'6". But that
Oh,
shit meant absolutely nothing.
yeah, I mean, 8 takedowns ain't enough for you, Kev.
Yeah, I would say he was he who?
For Pantoja.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that is a lot. But he was doing it on his feet too. Like he was doing it, he was trying to lock up the subs. Pantoja was definitely he showed all his skills in this fight.
Yeah, and he's kind of showing, kind of got it unlocked right now.
I mean, he definitely that see, being a big Brandon Moreno fan, you know what I'm saying? Viva Mexico. But that shit definitely made me respect those losses more because I was like, yo, this dude's good. Like he's a 125 version of Volk,
Yeah,
and he's so humble and so respectful afterwards. Oh man, so like great champion.
yeah.
Probably won't sell well, but great champion.
Someone I'm not upset that Moreno lost to.
Yeah, literally great champ. I mean, I just think I just like this whole division because I fuck with all them boys.
And then our final fight on the slate, the main event, Leon Rocky Edwards, unanimous decision win over Colby Covington, 49-46 across the board. I'm just shocked Colby Covington got up and acted like he won. I mean, I'm not too shocked because it's Colby, but the way he thought he acted like he was upset with the decision and all. Come on now. Rocky for sure won that fight.
Walking around, sitting around, walking down the winter wonderland. There's only one Rocky
Rocky
Edwards.
Edwards.
There's only one Rocky
Rocky
Edwards.
Edwards.
There's only one Rocky
Rocky Edwards.
Edwards. I'm telling you, man. Shout out my boy Leon. It's crazy that he's not a needle mover because now I understand exactly what they mean by that. Because the UFC is a business, they're always going to book the best fight over, even though they try to tell you this is a business where we try to find the best in the world. Yeah, they're going to book the best fight, whatever makes the most sense and whatever makes the most bread. You feel me? So it's crazy when they hate on my dog and for them to kind of like treat it as if they wanted Kobe to win in a sense. And they don't really control that, but you could tell that if they have been very happy with being able to market Kobe, especially with the president coming in and all that good stuff. But Leon did what he needed to do. This man talked about your fucking dad, and you didn't let that shit like consume you. And then you come out this bitch mad, make a bunch of mistakes, overextend. Nah, Leon just came in his bitch, fought his fucking fight, killed Kobe up top, and then they let that bitch get to the fucking ground. He took Kobe ass down his damn self, let that bitch get to the ground, and then report the time when he engaged Kobe on the fucking floor. On the fucking floor. And then his reason for it was, yo, I just wanted to show that I'm a mixed martial artist. I'm not just a striker.
Yeah, no, where he hanged his nuts when he kept getting off of Kobe's takedowns again up.
Oh, it's been seconds.
And then when he said, fuck it, I'm gonna take you down. And like shot one and got it like immediately. I was waiting for the Israel Adesanya Paulo Costa hump when he was on top. Like, yo, he might really teabag this guy right now just to show dominance on him.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely fucked him up. I mean, Kobe won the fifth round. Give him that. Congratulations. Maybe Leon might have taken his foot off the gas so he didn't overextend or do nothing crazy, getting in bad positions. But Kobe got fucked up the whole fight. And like, I think this entire situation has shown exactly what I thought he was. Kobe is a good fighter, but he's a bitch. And he does bitch ass shit. And that's just how motherfuckers move. Like he has great wrestling, all this stuff. He has pillow hands for show, but he can still sting motherfuckers. But at the end of the day, brother, bitch.
But and the fact he didn't come in and push the pace and cardio and like shoot a lot of takedowns, it was such a weird performance where I'm complete like Cole. Like I thought Kobe was gonna come in here and like at least keep walking forward, shoot takedowns, get clinched, all that stuff. But he allowed Leon to take him down, almost getting 2 submission attempts. He almost submitted him with the leg triangle at one point. It wasn't locked in, but it was
Yeah,
getting close.
yeah, he had the darts. He almost had the darts too at
And
the with the front headlock and shit. But it just showed like, Paul, what's our favorite? What's my favorite saying? You don't get better at something by not doing it. So like, you
yeah,
can sit around and wait for a championship because there was no injuries. I mean, there was no injury when you come into this fight, so you can sit down and wait for a championship. But by sitting there and waiting, there's a lot of motherfuckers that are sitting here fighting on a regular basis.
yeah, and the ring rust. I don't know. Maybe he's worried about Leon's counter, but they showed me I'm really down on Colby now, but I'm really high on Leon. The fact Leon took Colby down, even showed some submission ability. I can't. He did what he had to do, so now we can't say he's just a striker. Like now, I'm sitting here like, wow, like he really is. He can kind of do all facets.
I never once ever said that he was just a striker. I definitely felt like, but you can tell he's a person that learned this stuff. They said he used to train at AKA because he had no wrestling in his back pocket when he first started, and that's kind of the reason why he lost to Kamaru the first time. So shout out him for training, getting better. But I respected the fact that he didn't have to get into the positions that he did, but he welcomed them to show that he is a mixed martial artist and can outpower a motherfucker in so many different styles and different ways. And now Kobe is out of the title picture, and that's always a good sign. He's over there calling Wonder Boy out in the interviews and stuff. I'm like, yo, Wonder Boy just lost, kid. Why don't you not? If you want a championship, Shavkat's right there. Why you ain't saying about Shavkat? Nigga. And then they asked about Shavkat. He said, I don't think it really makes sense, but like, and I was like, oh, this lame ass nigga.
Yeah, no, but Shavkat versus Belil, or Shavkat for the title, or Belil for the title. I think that's the only thing that really makes sense in that little title picture, or number one, number two guys.
Hell yeah, there's only those two.
Yeah, but I mean, the card itself was electrifying, like all together, like top to bottom. I know we didn't talk every fight, but this is arguably one of the best cards of the year, without a doubt. Top to
But
bottom, they came to fight.
I think the UFC just had a great end to the year because the last card with Alex on the main event, they motherfucking got nothing but finishes. So like the UFC just and then Austin, UFC Austin was lit too. So they just finished the year very, very strong.
Yeah, I kept telling people because they were to watch the fight. I was like, the UFC always does two things: they end the year with a fucking bang, always strong, and they always start the year with a bang. So like the last card and first card will always be good.
Mm. And next year is looking like the first three cards going to be good. The UFC Miami, UFC 299 in Miami is sweeping up to be a very, very good card. We have Volk and Ilya in February, and then we got fucking Sean Strickland and Drickus in motherfucking January. Like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's the
And
first pay per view back is Strickland Dupresses.
yeah, so like, there's a lot going on.
O'Malley, Barra, 2 in March.
And in Miami for UFC 299.
And
So
they
it's gonna
have
be
Mexico City planned too.
yeah in the sphere. But they got Michael Venom Page fighting in UFC 299 in
Evan
Miami.
Holland.
It's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of crazy cool shit. So the UFC ended the year strong, and they look like they're about to go crazier next year.
Yeah, well, once again, we appreciate everyone that stayed tuned for the recap of UFC 296. It was it was a dream. That's what it felt like watching that shit. But
Hell yeah.
let us hear in the comment section what y'all thought. If you hit any big parlays, anything down there, let us hear it. I'm Paul Pickle Winham. I'm joined with Kevin Waterboy Savoy. And if y'all didn't know, now y'all know, motherfuckers.